Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing abrupt climate change and the possibility of compassionate degrowth. We are going to cover a bunch of extreme weather and pollution events, as per usual. Let's start with the obvious. This is from Huffington Post. Extreme weather is already breaking records around the world in 2019. Temperatures dipped to minus 38 degrees in Minnesota as Australia battled a heat wave that topped 115 degrees. In just a few weeks' time, extreme temperatures have smashed records around the world this year, with parts of the Midwestern U.S. seeing the mercury drop as low as minus 38 degrees Fahrenheit as Australia endures triple-digit high temperatures, reigniting concerns about a changing planet. Reignited from when? From yesterday? At Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, temperatures dipped to minus 23 degrees on Wednesday morning, breaking that day's previous record low of minus 15 set in 1966. The lowest wind chill recorded Wednesday in Chicago was 52 degrees below zero, according to the National Weather Service. Thursday's forecast is not expected to be any better, with meteorologists forecasting a low of 27 degrees below zero, which would match the Chicago's all-time record low. The Arctic blast has canceled hundreds of flights, closed major Chicago attractions and schools, and triggered states of emergency by governors in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. The U.S. Postal Service also suspended mail service on Wednesday for parts or all of several Midwestern states, including North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. Jeez. Parts of Minnesota woke to some of the country's coldest temperatures, with minus 38 degrees recorded in Melrose, Minnesota on Wednesday morning. The nation's coldest wind chill factor, minus 70, was reported in Ely, Minnesota. The National Weather Service office near Minneapolis and St. Paul has urged residents to stay indoors if at all possible. So yeah, lots of people are succumbing to the cold. I've been hearing more and more reports. At least 8 people, I'm pretty sure it's higher than that, have died because of the cold temperatures. One of those people was dropped off at his house and didn't have a key to get in. Isn't that horrible? Couldn't get in his house and froze to death. The good news for Minnesota is that temperatures are expected to rebound by 75 degrees between Thursday and Sunday. It is good news, although wild, right? That's a bit of a temperature swing, maybe. Temperatures in South Australia's capital of Adelaide, we're moving on to Australia. As cold as it is in parts of the U.S. and the Southern Hemisphere, extremely high temperatures and drought are breaking records in Australia, which recently experienced its hottest December on record and also now its hottest January. Temperatures in South Australia's capital of Adelaide hit nearly 116 degrees Fahrenheit last week. Thank you for Fahrenheiting us, HuffPost. Breaking an 80-year-old record high set in January 1939. According to the Bureau of Meteorology in South Australia on Wednesday, Adelaide nearly topped 101 degrees. Along with the intense heat, the coastal capital is also facing its driest January in 62 years, with its last rainfall occurring 6 weeks ago, according to the Weather Bureau. In Australia's Northern Territory, a mass grave of 90 wild horses was found at a dried-up watering hole near Santa Teresa. The animals are believed to have died of heat stroke or dehydration. Last week, scientists also revealed that nearly one-third of Australia's spectacled flying foxes, a type of fruit bat, was killed in a 2-day heat wave in November. The bats are said to be unable to withstand temperatures over 107 degrees Fahrenheit. The number of deaths, approximately at 23,000, was finalized earlier this month. These extreme temperatures may be something to get used to. Meteorologists expect Australia's extreme heat to be part of a new trend, with minimum temperatures increasing over the last 50 years. The Bureau's Global Temperature Report for 2018 found that Australia's climate and its surrounding oceans have warmed by about 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius since 1910. Sea levels have also risen around Australia. Review of global temperatures by the nonprofit research organization Berkeley Earth in California also determined that 2018 was likely the fourth warmest year on Earth since record keeping began in 1850. The three warmest years recorded were 2015, 2016, and 2017, with 2016 having been the warmest year seen. The slight decline in 2018 is likely to reflect short-term natural variability, but the overall pattern remains consistent with a long-term trend towards global warming. On Tuesday, the Earth was measured at 0.54 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the 1979 to 2000 average, and 1.6 degrees warmer than it was on average about 100 years ago, 1.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It's awful close to that 1.5 degrees Celsius we're not supposed to go past. And some would argue that based on whatever the line is that we're going back to, that we're past 1.5. Moving on to this article, New Zealand heat wave. Canterbury town reaches its highest temperature ever. Hanmer Forest in North Canterbury has hit a record-breaking 38.4 degrees C. NIWA posted on Twitter that Hanmer Forest had hit the wildly hot temperature on Thursday, the warmest it's been since records began in 1906. NIWA says it's also New Zealand's fourth equal highest temperature for January on record and the 18th equal highest temperature for New Zealand in any month across the year. Further north in Marlborough, fire crews are on alert as a worrying change to dry northwest winds kicks in, increasing the fire risk. The country has been embracing the warmer weather since it kicked in on Sunday, and on Thursday, Met Service confirmed to News Hub the hot week was officially a heat wave in some parts of the country. Masterson, Blenheim, Hammer Springs, Culverden, Kawarau, I don't know how to pronounce that, Lower Hutt have all had 5 days in a row with temperatures at least 5 degrees C hotter than the average high for this time of year. The hot weather is expected to cool on Friday, with Weather Watch warning of a great cool down that will see temperatures in parts of the South Island drop as much as 14 degrees C. I figured out a good way to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, and this is probably already an equation, but so it's 45 degrees. 1/5 of 45 is 9 degrees, right? Double 45, 90, add 32, that's 122, right? Minus 9, and you get 113, which is what it is in Fahrenheit. So I know there's other equations, but for me, that just seems really easy. So if that helps anybody, double the temperature, add 32, minus 1/5 of the original temperature in Celsius. Moving on to this from CNN today, toxic air forces Thai officials to close Bangkok schools for the rest of the week. Thailand's Ministry of Education has ordered all schools in Bangkok and some surrounding provinces to close for the remainder of the week amid concerns over dangerous levels of air pollution. Bangkok's air quality has fallen to harmful levels with the quantity of unsafe dust particles known as PM2.5 exceeding what is considered safe in 41 areas around the capital, the country's Department of Pollution Control said in a Facebook post. PM 2.5 are microscopic particles smaller than 2.5 micrometers in diameter that are considered particularly harmful because they are small enough to lodge deep into the lungs and pass into other organs. Yay. Doesn't that sound fun? The Air Quality Index is used by cities to determine levels of air pollution according to the World Health Organization. AQI levels under 25 are considered to be acceptable for humans to breathe regularly. The AQI levels on Wednesday evening in Bangkok measured 175. Good Lord. And this isn't smoke, this is smog. Right? The Prime Minister has ordered the Ministry of Education to consider closing the schools in order to mitigate the health effect. Yadpech said Wednesday, that's Boonrak Yadpech, Secretary General to the Office of Basic Education Commission. First action is to close down all the schools in Bangkok and some schools in 4 to 5 provinces. The official said the order would continue through Friday and that a direct result would be the reduction of vehicle traffic. All students were allowed to remain at home except for students preparing for upcoming national tests. In those instances, individual schools could decide whether to reopen. Wow. That's amazing. Lovely, lovely capitalism. What great things it brings us. Moving on. Excuse me. And lastly, I'm going to finish up with this article. I'm going to keep it short tonight because I have something pressing to do before the clock strikes midnight, and it's now 10:15. So I'm in a bit of a crush for time. This is from the Chicago Sun-Times. City's largest shelter breaks protocol and takes in 800 overnight. This is from yesterday. The largest homeless shelter in the city took in about 800 people overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Pacific Garden Mission at 1458 South Canal Street normally doesn't accept short-term visitors, but tossed protocol out the window this week to save lives. There's no restriction right now. We're letting everybody in. Pacific Garden Mission President Philip Kwiatkowski told the Sun-Times Wednesday morning. We're putting mattresses on the floor. It's a mass of humanity. Overnight lows were in the negative teens and plunged to minus 23 degrees just before 7 a.m. at O'Hare International Airport. Under normal circumstances, Pacific Garden houses people in 30-day increments, after which progress towards an independent life must be shown in order to extend a stay. I was out there for 3 or 4 days, Alfred Harris Brown, 67, told the Sun-Times during a chat at the Pacific Garden Mission Wednesday. My hands froze like nobody's business. They were hurting. I appreciate the shelter. That's the truth. I'm here and I'm warm. It's unclear how many people sought warmth at shelters, libraries, warming buses provided by the Chicago Transit Authority and other public spaces during the current cold snap, which set in Tuesday. City officials were trying to compile information Wednesday morning. What I can tell you right now is they're being used. Rich Goodice, who heads up the city's Office of Emergency Management and Communications, Harbor Light, a Salvation Army drug treatment facility at 825 South Christiana, also transformed itself into a short-term shelter. Salvation Army outreach workers contacted 40 homeless people in the area over the last few days, but only 5 chose to stay at the facility Tuesday night. Salvation Army spokeswoman Nancy Powers told the Sun-Times Wednesday. Each was greeted with a warm cookie and a welcome note on their cot. It's kind of easy to form relationships when you hand someone a warm cookie when they come through the door, Powers said. A total of 100 cots were available. Uh, yeah, terrible, terrible time to be homeless um, anywhere in the area. And thank goodness they're doing, you know, alleviating some suffering. But crazy stuff. I'm sure that a lot of people are really struggling. With that, I'm going to end this video. If you are in the worst of the temperatures, stay warm, stay safe. Um, don't go outside if you don't have to. And thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.